Hello there, this is Sean. This is part 4, I believe, of the NX01. It's not the NX01, sorry, it's the 1701B, the 1400 scale StarCraft Enterprise B. So I'll bring you onto the table and show you what I've done so far and what I'm working on right now. Alright, so back here on the table, just adjusting the tripod a bit. There we go. Okay, good. That's a good angle. There you are. So what I've been doing, I'll show you what I did. I put on the rest of the saucer decals here along the bottom sensor ring. Had to cut them to fit because one of them was too big. I put on the bottom impulse thrusters on each side of the hull. I color matched the Enterprise B for the Rust-Oleum model kit. Well, the Rust-Oleum spray paint, which you can see here. And I hand painted an equivalent, mixing a lot of paints together, and took quite a few cards of paint mixing to do it. And I finally found the mixture right there. So what I'm doing now, well, is I'm actually working on the side windows, as you can see here. So what I do is I paint the side the green, I go over it with a Q-tip, get all the paint off, and it stays in the recesses. Or at least that's what it's supposed to do, and you can see the effect working more over here. So I'm going to continue that, and I'm going to be back, but as you can see I've also done the bottom Aztec decals. The phaser decal, there's one that will go here, just for the Enterprise B, plus those red stripes. And I did the entire bottom of the star drive section here, you can see that, with the light, I guess it's close to Robin's egg blue. And the torpedo hatch. The torpedo decals right there. And there's really nothing more I can do right now. I'm going to, the stripe on the decal sheet, it didn't cover this entirely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and paint this thick stripe the same teal green. And we'll see how that works. It'll meet up right at the front there. But in the meantime, I'm going to do the saucer, and I'll show you what I do. Yeah, you can see the model. Good. All right. So let me get the water out here and the brush. Okay, so I'm working towards the front. So first I take my thickest brush, you can see here, and I put it in the paint, and I just carefully, almost like a dry brushing. See if I can do it in camera. What you do is you take the paint and you see where you left off, and you paint the entire side with the color all the way along until the paint fades away from the brush. Try and get it on all sections, on all the grooves, until there's no more paint to be had for the brush. Okay, that's about it. Actually, it is working all the way around. As the paint goes off the brush, it actually reinforces the striping. Okay, good. So there we go. So then what I do is I get the Q-tip moist. I get a fresh one because you don't want to have green paint remnants on it. Okay, here we go. But actually, what I found works even better. You get the Q-tip completely dry. You bring it along the entire ship, like so, all the way along, the front, the side, everywhere. all the way to the back. Of course, what I found is, unfortunately, it worked a little too well because the Q-tip was wet. So I'm going to try completely repaint it. I'll come back. All right, I'm back. So as you can see, the bottom impulse decal came off as one piece. That's good. I should have sealed it down with microset. There it is for now. Okay. But anyway, back to what I was doing. As you can see, I did the dry Q-tip method, so it wouldn't wash away the color. You just rub it along there. You scrape away all the paint carefully, and you get the paint that is left just in the recesses, which is exactly how it should be, and it's way too precise to try and do that with a brush or even with masking. So the good thing about having an engraved kit is you can do it that way. So now I have to put this impulse engine back on. I mean, not the engine, but the decal. So I'm going to put the paint away now that I've done what I had to. Put that decal back on, and I'll be back when I start working on the lower saucer Aztecs. See you in a few minutes. Alright, I'm back. Got the first decal. It's going to be for the lower section of the hull. Right by the neck. Well, if you're looking at it from the bottom saucer, it's on the right, but on the model it's on the left. So let's see, let's do it. I'm doing a fit test first. Probably align it with the grid lines. Slightly overlaps the hatch, but again you'll be able to see the hatch through it. So that's about where it goes, right up to the grid line. I don't think it goes beyond it. Of course, I'm going to make sure that when I do the centerpiece, which is number 50, that I center it exactly along the center phaser decal. And you know, because I'm going to alternate, 50 is going to be the next one I do anyway. So, soak this in the water. We'll see how it goes. And use, for decals, on this one I'm using pink for the decals applied. Just because. It's a ship, 23 years ago, when I was doing, it's almost like a graphic novel or a set of comics that went in between the U.S. movies and the TNG series. I said, that's a good color, pink. And TNG will be purple, Voyager's blue, DS9's green, etc. So I'll get the decal out of the water before it lifts off the film. There we go. Color the number, that's 47, so color it. Of course, you can, there's also red stripes to apply to the ship, but you want to do that after all the Aztec decals are down, not before. And you will still be able to see that engraved panel line through the Aztec decals where you want to put the red stripes. So that should work here, and I hope I'm on camera. Good. Alright, sliding it off to the one side. Oh, it's not quite... Oh, there it is. Now it's releasing. Alright. Align it with the edge of the grid line. That's why I love these engraved grid line ships. Alright, so it overlaps the panel slightly. Use another Q-tip to try and carefully get the wrinkles out. Of course, there's going to be some wrinkles because of panels and panel lines and everything, but it seems to be well aligned. It's over the panel. So I'm going to get some micro set here and put it on the decal, and then I'll hold up the ship and show you what it looks like here. I hope those big lines go away. Just a minute, I'm going to see if I can ease those big lines out of the decal here. Just a second. Maybe with a Q-tip, actually. No, it doesn't actually seem to be working. But we'll let the microsol and the micro set take a look at it. Maybe that'll make it work. Anyway, you can see, careful, you can see what the Aztec looks like against the hull there. And the next section I'm going to do is number 50. But first, of course, I have to mark the section so it brings it right up to the hatch. Right up to that hatch. Okay, that's a good landmark. So there we go. It's that section there. Yeah, it actually overlaps the entire hatch. I'm not going to use those hatches because I've got the robin's egg blue for them. I kind of did that deliberately. But you can see how on the guide I labeled decal 47 and where it goes up to. So you know that decal 53 goes up to that hatch. Decal 49 goes up to that hatch. And see how the Enterprise B registry is actually going to be behind the hatches, or maybe just in between them. So I'm going to move to decal number 50 next. That's the front center. And I'll be back when I've done that. Now, alright, I'm back. If you take a look at the decal guide, you're going to see something. 48, 51, 52, outer front middle. Look at this. 48 on this side. 51's still in the middle, but 52 is over there instead of over there. Take a look at the center functions. 49, 50, and 53. But if you look here, 53, 50, 49. Now, I don't know what the reasoning is, but as far as I can tell, the color pattern does alternate, so it probably is interchangeable. But I don't mind. I could put them where it says to put them, knowing that 50 is always the center, and so is 51. So actually, I'm just going to do it that way, as the guide says to do it, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to be back when I've put on a couple more panels. And I'm also wondering if I should put on the central panel, which is actually on the first sheet here. Yeah, number 37. Of course, it'd have to be cut up into several sections. I'm going to put it on when the first panel's dry, because I can see the cutouts for the sensor band. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. You can see the results of the 3 sections of the saucer Aztec so far. There you go. Looks pretty good to me. I'm going to take a still picture. From within the video, I found that setting. So just give me a couple minutes here. Be right back. Alright, I'm back again. You can see what I got done. I'm about to do the final decal, but when I look at the saucer, the bottom of the saucer, and I see how somewhat aqua those robin's egg blue hatches look, then I compare the harsh green there. I'm not going to use that green. Not on the bottom hull, I think. Not when it's so different from the rest of the decals. So I am going to use the Craftsmart robin's egg blue here. I'm going to go over that section of the ship with this paint so that it all blends in. and it's all in the same range of color. But now that you know you have the proper mix of aqua for the 1000 scale ship, I will make sure I use that teal, that dark teal, for the 1000 scale Enterprise B. But when you get to the Lakota, it's going to be the Craftsmart Robin's Egg Blue I use. I don't know if I'll find a spray paint that's light blue like it, though. That's the problem. I may have to expand my spray paint brand, or hand paint like I've done here on the Aztec Decals. And I'll probably paint the hull a much darker shade of gray so that those dark decals blend in somehow. Anyway, I'll put this last decal on and I'll try the paint experiment, and I'll be right back because this video's already, what was it, nearly 15 minutes or something. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. So you can see the slightly muted effect there of putting the Robin's Egg Blue over the teal green. Now that's not going to be the final coat, that's just the first coat. So I'm going to do the other side, and I'll be back. Alright, there we are. You know, I will probably go over it again to lighten it because I didn't lighten it enough. Give it a second coat, blend it in. I added white in front of the phasers there to cover up the green, because there is another decal that's going to go on the ship there. Just for the Enterprise B. It's a red, almost triangle outlines and everything. That's why I want to get the color right. And what I'm actually going to do, just for fun, is I'm going to go into the cargo bay there, and I'm going to go over that dark blue with the Robin's Egg Blue as well. So I'll be back with that, and that's going to be the final thing I do tonight. Alright, so there you go. I did the light blue in there. You know, I'm kind of... I mean, it's lighter. I will give it the second coat when the time is right. But it's getting there. But I love the saucer. I love how you can see the gray. I love the flecks of blue. It's not as big a difference as I thought from the bottom ring, so I'm going to restore the panels to Robin's Egg Blue. And then I'm going to put the decal. I'm going to use the decal after all over it. Just to see. I'll probably use the decal, but I'm just going to restore it to Robin's Egg Blue base and put the decal over it, and we'll see what we do next. There's not really anything more I can do on the bottom unless I wanted to do the bottom nacelle struts. Those are two separate pieces. They're in the model box there. But I think that's all for today. Give everything a chance to dry. Actually, there is one more thing I could do. Actually. You see the outer sensor ring? It's not going to touch anything. I can do it. So I'm actually going to work on that. And I'll come back when I've done that. Or at least alternating patterns. Be right back. I'm back. I figured out why the other two decals were so long. Decal 44, middle one. Good, it's right. Decal 40... I mean, actually, that's decal 48. 44? The reason it's so long, it was originally built for the Excelsior. It doesn't account for the impulse engine in the way. But there is a tiny section on either side that you can use. So what I'd have to do is trim it. So I'm going to do that side, and I'll be back with the result. Okay, I've done the other side. I'm not going to do the back part because it's going to require a lot of trimming. I mean, this decal here, it's going to have to be trimmed quite a lot around the impulse engine just to fit on there. And, of course, the tiny little rectangle right in there. So I'm going to leave it alone, this decal. I'm not going to try to put it on. It's going to go in the Ziploc bag. But I will put on the other side ring here, the one that goes up to the navigation light. And I'll be back when I've done that. And that is going to be the end, except for one thing. I'm going to try to do the silver, one of the 3 silvers and or platinum, right in there. So I'll be back with that. Okay, I'm back. So I trimmed the decal to fit both around both sections of the impulse engine. So I'm going to do the same thing with decal 46. I put the silver sterling in there, and I'm going to give that part another coat of the robin's egg blue. Then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see from the guide here, the bottom saucer Aztecs are all done. That's all I'm going to do today. Except, of course, I might give more robin's egg blue to that. You know, got the robin's egg blue here. So I'm going to try that, but that's a good view angle of the Aztec decals on the ship. It's all done. And I haven't done the center yet, but I'm going to wait till that dries. I mean, everything else dries before I try the center. Probably should have done that first because you know the water's going to flow that way. But anyway, I'm pleased with how it turned out. It's subtle. It's ironic. Even with a white hull, these Aztecs are more subtle than the Excelsior ones. But of course, you can see that right there. There are Aztec decals on either side, but you can barely see anything. So I'm going to just give it another coat of robin's egg blue, and I'll be done for the night. And that's the end of part 4, I believe, and I'll see you here for part 5 after Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. So I'll talk to you all later.